Phones will prompt the speakers to bring their remarks to a close after 4 minutes. I now give the floor to Her Excellency Naledi Pandor, Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of South Africa.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, South Africa would like to thank the Federative Republic of Brazil for convening this open debate to discuss how we effectively move from theory to practice to enhance women's participation in international peace and security. We appreciate the informative presentations by all the briefers this morning. South Africa believes that as we prepare for the 25th anniversary of Resolution 1325, enhanced international efforts are needed to focus on implementing the commitments made to advancing women's participation in all peace processes. We made the same call in 2019 when this Council unanimously adopted Resolution 2493 as proposed by South Africa. It is therefore disheartening to note that the percentage of women in peace negotiations today stands at a measly 19% in UN-led processes, down from 23% in 2020. It is our belief that peace agreements are more sustainable when women are at the table. The report of the UN Secretary General points to several concrete actions that we member states can take to reverse this trend, and South Africa is largely in agreement with the proposals. We also note that the current global security environment may contribute to the reversal of progress in implementation of the WPS agenda. We therefore re-emphasize our call for urgent action to secure peace in the Israel-Gaza war, in conflicts on the African continent, and in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. In this context, it is alarming that the number of women and girls living in conflict-affected settings has increased by 50% in 2022 compared to 2017, owing to the increased number of armed conflicts since then. Mr. President, in South Africa, we've tried to do our part. We initiated the Gertrude Schope Annual Dialogue Forum in 2015, as well as the Women Mediators Network, to train cohorts of African women negotiators and peace monitors. The training has made an immense contribution to drawing women in communities together and is setting targets for women's direct participation in peace delegations and negotiating teams. This initiative has shown how empowered women can contribute to peace and stability and support other women living in vulnerable conditions. South Africa also contributes to training and capacity building for women in peace processes at continental and local levels. We provide annual youth and women's training programs on conflict resolution, mediation, and negotiation to women from conflict-affected countries. Some of the trainees are now members of peace-building initiatives in their various countries. We truly appreciate the partnerships we've established with the African Women Leaders Network, FemWise Africa, the African Union Platform for Women Mediators, as well as the partnership of the Government of Norway. In the same vein, we commend the efforts of the Secretary General as articulated in the Action for Peacekeeping Initiative Plus and the Uniform Gender Parity Strategy, which continue to positively advance the WPS agenda. We are pleased to note the contribution of South African female peacekeepers making a difference on the ground when deployed to missions. These include dedicated individuals such as Major Felicia Tobeka Mswani, who previously served as the Fire Support Coordinator for the Force Intervention Brigade in the DRC, Lieutenant Colonel Martha Masango, Chief of the Intelligence Cell of the MONUSCO Force Intervention Brigade, Major Sitibatso Pearl Block, the MONUSCO Information Operations Officer, who was awarded the UN Military Gender Advocate of the Year Award in 2017, and Lieutenant Colonel Fulufefe Kota, the contingent commander of the South African Police Service in the UN mission in South Sudan, who was recently recognized for sterling leadership she provides to her fellow colleagues. Mr. President, in light of our discussions yesterday on the situation in the Middle East and the question of Palestine, I wish in closing to recognize the fundamental role played by civil society organizations in the search for sustainable peace. In this regard, let me highlight the cross-community solidarity forged by Women of the Sun of Palestine and Women Wage Peace of Israel, aimed at urging the parties to engage in dialogue and diplomacy to reach a just, comprehensive, and sustainable peace. These partnerships are an example of positive activism and inspirational leadership by women striving to find a solution in the context of the continued occupation of Palestine. We encourage these women to continue with their solidarity amid adversity and the deepening political and security crisis. I thank you for this opportunity, Mr. President.
I thank Her Excellency Mrs. Pandor for her statement, and I now give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Jean Asselborn, Minister